I was really having a battle between which one I would rather take until I thought of this one thing. And this one thing changed everything. Alright guys, there's gonna be a preface on this video. It's that although I do work for Flux Defense in customer service and shipping, I do not talk as Flux Defense. I don't represent the company Flux Defense in this video. These videos I make for my fun, own free time, and that's why I call the channel Free Time Alex. And so that being said, when I single out certain products here that I'm gonna talk about, it's as just Alex talking. And so because of that, and because this is my own free time, we do have a sponsor for this video, very cool, and I will explain a little bit more here in a second after I get into the video. So I'm gonna single out 3 different compensators that fit the P320 and talk about why 2 of them I wouldn't pick right now, and the 3rd one why I would. So let's start off with what I've been running for the past couple of months, if not like maybe a little over half a year, and that is the Agency Arms 2-port compensator. This compensator has been nothing but awesome for me, and it being my main compensator for so long, I've gotten to really love it and love the way it performs. I've had nothing but reliability out of it using my DPM light spring on the P320 and the Raider. But there was always 2 things that I wish were different, and so I'll talk about those right now. So the first one is that the Agency Arms compensators are cut in a way for the Agency Arms P320 slides. So if you want that clean look, you're gonna have the whole setup. If not, it's gonna be a little sore spot and it won't look the greatest, but it is Agency Arms, so you know it's made really well. The second thing is that the set screws that keep the compensator on are for a little Allen, and I don't even know what size Allen it is, but it's a pretty small one. And what happens is if you tighten too much or whatever, it can round out a little bit easier. Now, that may not be as much of an issue if you're just putting it on once. You're not gonna be moving it very often. But it's just a little Allen wrench that I don't really have on me all the time. It's not really a common one, it's just pretty small, and so I just wish the set screws had something more universal. Now, let's set the Agency Arms 2-port comp aside. Again, I'm not trashing any of these companies that make compensators because I love that compensator. I do love the compensators that this next company makes, which is Parker Mountain Machine. The very first compensator I got was a P320 Parker Mountain Machine compensator, and I timed it. I got all the shims I needed to time it on correctly, and it looked so good, it performed so well, and I feel like it was at the time where compensators were more new and gaining traction, and so I really loved that thing. It looked really good, but me and Ben did a little trade. I hadn't missed it as much because it didn't have the set screw feature. What happens with the Parker Mountain Machine ones, as great as they are and how well they perform, is you have to screw them on and then you have to time the compensator with shims, like I just said. Now, if you're taking compensators on and off and mixing up slides and builds, like something I do all the time, is my Raider is constantly looking different even after maybe 1 to 2 weeks. It's never in the same configuration because I'm always testing things out, trying to figure out what works best for customer service, but for my personal defense as well. To have to time that Parker Mountain Machine compensator every time was a little hassle, but not a huge deal, but enough for me to like, I don't want to do it every time, and because of that, I did that trade with Ben. So before we get to the last one, let's talk about the sponsor of this video because I'm very excited about it, and that is Toomey Tactics. If you don't know what Toomey Tactics is it's my company, the one that I started, and I had a bunch of help from friends to get running, and so now it's what it is it's a small multi-tool that allows you to adjust your zeros, especially for hollow suns, and it works on freaking aim point acros, on Delta Point Pros, on RMRs, SRO, but specifically I made it for hollow suns. And so Toomey Tactics, the Toomey tool, is just kind of an amalgamation of as many tools as I could fit into a small key size tool that you could keep on you. Reason being, constantly switching optics out. I've been doing that for a long time and constantly switching them from one Raider to another, from one setup to a different setup to my handgun again. And I had to be zeroing my optic all the time. Now, a lot of that time I was using the Holosun 508T and the 507C. So I didn't always have that tiny little flathead tool on me, and it was the most frustrating thing. So yeah, I started a whole company to take care of that issue, but also add a lot more benefit, which would be a flathead. Then you have the small flathead for Holosun and for other optic zero adjustments. Has a T10 bit in there, which is like the standard for optics, but also that's what the Aimpoint Acro P1 and P2 use for their zero adjustments. Not only that, it's got a bottle opener and it has a wrench built into the bottle opener that you can use with the bit included. If you want to support me, head over to toomeytactics.com and pick up a tool. They're really cool, and everybody that in the shop loves them so far. A lot of them have had a hand in helping me design the thing. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, and I don't want to take too much time up talking about Toomey Tactics, even though it's my baby. But I do have my other baby that I like to talk about, which is Flux Defense. And so let's get to the final and the best compensator, in my opinion, would be the new Harrington Arms XL compensator for the P320. This is their second version of the P320 compensator. The first one was actually not so much a fan of, and so I don't want to just be like, oh, they're the greatest. And when they started out, they made these compensators that have ports coming out the side. And I think it was more geared towards just P320s, competition type stuff. But because they were good compensators that were well machined and well designed, people started using them on the Raider. In so much that there was a lot of attention going on to Harrington Arms, that they sent us out a compensator so we could test and mess with. And we did, and the issue we found was just that the side ports that were on the compensator, blasting gas out the sides and out the top. Out the top is fine, but blasting them out the sides, and because it's such a small package, if you're running the Raider, we were having gas come out, hitting our arms, hitting our fingers, but also inside let's say a shooting range, an indoor shooting range, bouncing off the walls, and it was kind of creating a blast effect. So we, especially me, I was just like, well, I can't really use this one because I had been trying these other compensators and those side ports were just killing me. So I went with the agency 2-port for a long time until, and I think Harrington Arms was listening to the people who are using the Raider. Harrington Arms announced a couple months ago that they were making an XL version, which is a 2-port P320 compensator without the side ports. And honestly, I think he made it design-wise for people who use the Raider. And so I love it. I would like to compare real quick with the Agency Arms 2-port compensator. They're basically the same thing. I found perfect performance out of both of those with reliability. That is with my DPM light spring. I haven't really tried it much with my other springs, and I need to, and I think I can make that into a video. Because it was so similar to the Agency 2-port comp, I was really having a battle between which one I would rather take until I thought of this one thing. And this one thing changed everything. And that is that Harrington Arms makes the compensators with the set screws of 5/64 Allen. Now, the reason this is important is because the Flux Raider ships out with a small Allen wrench on the bottom of the Raider that's built into a little kind of locking area. So you can pull that out, you can do any kind of maintenance you need on the Raider, and that's awesome. And it's something that we thought we would include because we had the space to fit it in. Well, guess what? You can use that exact same Allen wrench to tighten down your Harrington Arms XL compensator if it gets loose. And so you can service that very same compensator and barrel setup. You can pull it off if you need to, and you have the tool with you always. So cool. I love that thing, and I wish Agency Arms would do that, because then Agency Arms would be back up to where I think the Harrington Arms XL compensator is. So that's kind of my assessment right now. And again, this is coming from me as just a person who shoots the Flux Raider. I'm not saying this as Flux Defense or as even customer service. I'm just saying that at the moment, they've got the sauce. That's it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up, but thanks for watching. I thought this was something that was important, and I also wanted to clear some things up just to help you guys out. So either way, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.